develop, because I know that you are trying to empower and do this, do what I understand is important, and that is to provide the community with information. I have, as you said, I have mentored you. And the reason why it is so important to me to be a mentor is that in the cultures of indigenous people, that is the foundation for how we build out and learn and teach our communities through mentoring. So because as an African American, we came from a culture that primarily were oral. So what we did was they mentored us through from childhood to adulthood and beyond. But I was blessed to come from a culture that embraced both mentoring and and reading, the written words. So I had both as I was growing up. But I found out that as I was growing, and I never was without a mentor, because the church and the community mentored me. And it also during the time when, as I was growing up, and in my bio, it talks about the civil rights movement in the South, because I went, one of the schools that I attended was Alabama State University. And so I was prepared, our community prepared us for leadership. And as Alabama State University obviously was the center for providing educators and to provide leaders for our communities. So I was mentored in that process as well. So education and mentoring has been the foundation of my development. And of course, the justice, because having been, how would I say, confronted and challenged by injustice in this country, as we understand it, and I know it probably better as much as well as so many other people that grew up in the Deep South. And so when I came to the North, I never forgot that, because it was, like I said, it was what helped me to understand that the North and the South weren't that much different. It just had different faces.
Yes.
So and so what you have to do is, what I had to do is understand how to see what it was very obvious, and it was still the same kind of challenge that I had in the South. And it was more insidious because it wasn't as obvious.
Yes.
But so that's why I feel that it's important, because I think that my way I was taught, and the way I was able to live, and the way I was able to grow and function, and the way I was taught and to be a leader, is to be one that helped to bring others with you. So that, as Harriet Tubman said, and that's part of our culture, is that you lift as you grow, and so for me, mentoring is as familiar as what it's part of who I am and what I do. And as I said before, and you read off the education of accomplishments, if you will, and they were. Absolutely. And that those accomplishments made me more aware, made me understand how important it was for me to stay focused and stay on the ground in the community and serve those who needed me the most. So I told you about this adage about it's a historical fact, that when the country was being formed and they were looking for symbols that would represent the country, and they chose I think it was William Penn who wanted the eagle. not the eagle, the turkey. And but they chose the bald eagle because it looked so majestic and it was a predator. And so obviously they wanted to look strong. But I think that for me, I choose the turkey because the turkey is not stupid. The turkey is part of our food chain. Mm-hmm. And so it provides nutrition of value. And it protects. And I see them, each time I see them, I have to really honor them because I feel that. And so I'm like the turkey. You know, I can be the eagle when it's necessary, but by nature, I'm more like a turkey. So I nurture and nourish people. And so symbolically, yes, I am a turkey.
I love that, Dr. Moody-Shepherd, because truly that's how I felt all these years knowing you. For those who don't know, I started seminary where Dr. Moody-Shepherd was a professor back in 1997. And as soon as I was privileged to take a course with her, I knew that there would be something long lasting in our relationship. Certainly, I'm one of her many, many, many daughters in ministry. Many, she has many throughout the world, but I am a very proud one who also hails from her state of Alabama. We call each other Alabama sisters.
That's right.
And I just love you, Dr. Moody-Shepherd. And so this is my honor to be here talking to you, and not just, you know, for a grade, as I did so many years ago, but I continue to learn from you. And many of the things that I do in ministry are because of you, Dr. Moody-Shepherd. I remember so vividly you telling us, and I don't even remember which class it was, but you had to just tell us at the beginning of this class, there is not enough pulpits for everybody who's in seminary. Find your place. And I've really found my place in justice fighting, which is similar to what you've done much of your life. You've made such an impact on so many of us, specifically those of us who've come through and under your tutelage at New York Theological Seminary, to the point where they have named the Women's Center after you. How does that make you feel? Where do you see it going from here? And what would you like to see happen?
Well, it makes me feel good because I feel that women are so important in the universe because we know the earth is Mother Earth.
Yes.
We are connected to the life force and you know so I don't need to do any biology, but women are so important. And I say to people, and one of the Africans African proverbs is that if you educate a man, you educate an individual. If you educate a woman, you educate the community, you educate the world.
Right.
So that's what I understand. Because if you prepare a woman, you prepare the community. And when you wound a woman, you wound the community. So therefore, in much of what I do, I try to bind those wounds and try to mentor and uplift the women so that they can uplift their community. And talking about the Women's Center, I came to the seminary after a career of working with New York State government as an administrator. And so I came and I also had been a Presbyterian most of my life by that time. Mm-hmm. And so I understand the polity of the Presbyterian Church. So it's believe me, it's not perfect. Mm-hmm. It has its problem. But one of the things that there is more sharing of responsibilities, and there, I always teach about most women don't have agency.
Right.
And a lot of times they will give you a lot of offices. You will be able to do and titles, but you don't have any power.
Right.
So therefore, there is a difference in that understanding in the polity, and that's one of the things I embrace about that denomination. Mm-hmm. But get back to the Women's Center. When I came to the seminary, Joan Speaks was in charge of the certificate program, because I started in the certificate program, even though I had a master's, right, and 2 bachelors and an associate degree. But I didn't have that understanding, theological understanding that I needed and wanted. So I came and started in the certificate program. And at that time, I heard so many, and women were coming into the seminary. That was in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And most of them were coming from the Baptist faith, those faith traditions, where women could not expect to get in agency. Right. Could not, and they were denied any ordination track anyway. Yep. So you heard there, and there was a lot of abuse in the churches. And so you heard their cry. And so one of the things that Joan Speaks and I finally got a group of women that were interested in starting and we started doing groups and starting to have these women a place where they are a safe place for them to talk about their issues and feel that someone hear them. Right. And so that we started that, and finally we were able to Marion Ronan, Dr. Russell's wife, she was in charge of development. And so Joan and the group of us talked to Marion, and she got a living grant. Oh, right. And we met at Stony Point, and we developed that Women's Center.
Wow.
And that was in the 80s, late 80s. So I have been I am probably one of the last standing. Wow. And Joan left, the other people left, some that were there. And we worked with during that time, we were and start working with the new theology, womanist theology. And we start those women, a lot of those women, Emily Towns, Jackie Grant, Katie Cannon, and all of those women, mm-hmm, they were studying at Union, trying to work out this whole idea. Wow. Because it was, we had Black theology, mm-hmm, but they realized, and we all realized by our conversation, that Black women was still on the underside, as Jackie Grant said, on the underside of history. Wow. And that, we were the last one, even our brothers, we were fighting with them, but they thought the sexism was rampant. Mm-hmm. And so that's how the Women's Center was founded. And so I've always been with the Women's Center. Mm-hmm. And but I need to make an update on my resume, on my bio. We have one of the things, and I'll take this moment to explain something. I believe in successions. I believe in preparing, and that's what mentoring is so important, so that you prepare people to move into a position. Right. So that's what I've always done at the seminary, is prepare. You don't just leave a place without having a succession plan. That's right. And prepare the place and prepare the person to be able to. And another one of my mentees is Dr. Wanda Lundy. Yes. Yes. And so when she is now the director of the Women's Center.
Right.
I work with that Women's Center, and I've never not worked with the Women's Center.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been director a couple of times because and I've always been with the person and mentoring and helping people who have been in the Women's Center. But what is important about that center, it is a place where people can come. We have brought people in, we've had trained people. So it continues to be the place where we look at issues that are important to our community, not just the women.
Right.
But women is the center of the discussion.
Yes.
That's why the Women's Center is so important, because we are the center of the discussion, and we listen to our voices. And so that's why the Women's Center. Now, when they named that Women's Center after me, I was surprised and shocked.
Wow.
Because, I am, and people always say, why were you shocked? I told you I'm a turkey. I don't aspire to, things like, and I never thought about it. Yes, I should, I'm worthy of it.
Yeah.
Because I have done the work.
Yes.
But there were other people that were worthy of it as well. But I happened to be the one that was identified, and they named the seminary after me. It had never had a name of had been identified and named after an individual. So it was named after me, and I was thrilled. And there were other people that are thrilled. Now, and I'm so happy to have someone that I feel that are eminently qualified to move the Women's Center to the next level.
Yeah.
And so the question may be asked, why? What do I see?
Mm-hmm.
Because my mother always said to us that each generation should be better than the one before.
Yes. Yes.
So I expect, like people say, you can't be better. Of course you can.
Mm.
I expect you to be better. Hopefully I have helped to prepare you to aspire and to be better. So I expect Dr. London she took over after me because I had a second round to help build the center back up. So she is doing things that hopefully we will be able to have a space. We never had a real space where we could do the kind of things like there are so many times people have offered beautiful clothes that women could use to go for interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Young people could use for proms.
Right.
And for prom time. So that's one of the things I would want us to be able to do in the future, is to get a physical space for the Women's Center.
Wow.
And I have a feeling, and the president of the seminary is very interested in what we're doing, and she would certainly encourage us, and that's the future. And the future is but we are working to look at it intergenerational.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at it so that women of all faith tradition. So because our community, we would like to reflect our communities.
Right, right.
So we invite people of all faith tradition.
Mm-hmm.
We have young people engaged, and I would really love to see us be able to have a layer of young people and be able to impact, so that not wait until later, but try to come and prepare them and start mentoring them earlier.
Early, yes.
Yes, very early. So that's one of the things that I would like to see the women do. And as I work with the Ladies of Hope Ministry.
Yes, yes.
And that ministry was birthed out of, helped to be birthed out of the seminary.
Mm-hmm.
The director was incarcerated, and she went through the certificate program, and she was mentored through the Women's Center. And so, and also I sent her over to my alma mater, over to Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
And so they continue to mentor her, and she provides a place for her when she needs to. But it's important for us to look where the women are needed. And we are also doing work with homeless women.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
And we really wanted to reach out to women that are coming out of I'm trying to think of, they're part of social service.
Yes.
Yes, they
public assistance.
Yeah, and we're trying to develop a way to look at foster care system.
Okay. They're aging out.
Aging out of foster care. We want to start working with those young women.
Awesome.
To start working with those women. So we have our work cut out for us, and that's what I say. Dr. Lundy is the person, and she has a really and she's a team leader, and that's the other thing we work, because if you want to go fast, you go along, but if you want to go and do well, you go with the team.
Absolutely.
That's a African proverb.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are trying to do that. But the other area that is so dear to my heart is my connection with the Motherland.
Yes.
I started getting understanding and getting connected to Africa when I was at home. My father, after we went through the civil rights movement, and he got, that's another story to be told, but there were at Tuskegee University, my father worked in the veterinary medicine school and he was a vet lab tech. And they were doing research on large animals, horses particularly, hard research. But anyway, there were a lot of Africans that came to Tuskegee. There were particular men, and some had brought their wives. But I got to meet them, and really, and so my our house was like the den. They would come and eat and talk. And anyway, I got to know them. Mm-hmm. So that was my first really intimate contact, prolonged intimate contact with African people. But the other way it's obviously is mentoring. I started when I was at the seminary teaching. I came in contact with Daniel Nyanti. Okay. Dr. Nyanti is a Ghanaian. And so he was in one of my classes. And when he was getting ready to graduate from the MDiv, he said to me, Dr. Moody-Shepherd, I don't know what I'm going to do. And we had been talking so much about Africa and being reconnected and what have you. And he was talking about his desire to connect, to bring the diaspora and and Africa together, so that we would be so separate from each other, mm-hmm. and start learning and connecting again. So I said, Daniel, that would be a wonderful DMen project. So he couldn't see it at first, but I mentored him through that process. And he did a DMIN project. So we started taking us over to going to Ghana.
Nice.
And so, and I also we also went to Nigeria. So I traveled and he was helping. And so I got connected with some Nigerians, and they were the first people I had met when I was home.
Mm-hmm.
So I was comfortable with Nigerians. So we went to Nigeria, and I did some work there and some connection with Nigeria. I found a women's center with the women's center there, and they had a birthing center. And they didn't have, and they were giving birthing babies without lights.
Wow.
And so I came back to there, and I went to Brooklyn and talked to the people, and we were able to raise enough money. And I had, before I left there, that time I had a generator brought from the United States and brought to that center. So it's empowerment. It's not about, it's empowerment. Yeah. So I was able to help to generate enough funds for them to build a beautiful center.
Wow.
Because most of the people that were these lawyers and doctors and Indian chiefs were part of the Apostolic Church, Christ Apostolic Church. And I told them they should have been ashamed of themselves. Now they have all of this money and doing all things, but they gave it up. They gave up a lot of money.
Wow.
And they were able to build that center and build it. They did a wonderful job. They did it. They just needed to have someone
push them
to mentor them into the process. That's what mentoring is about.
Yeah.
To mentor them into the process. But anyway, getting back to Ghana, I found out that Ghana was my home. And then, of course, that was my home. But I've been to Ethiopia a few times. I've been to Egypt a few times. You know, those are the African. And I've been to Senegal.
Okay. Wow.
Senegal is, you have to go to Senegal. It's a statue there that would just blow your mind.
Wow.
It's so big, and then it has a museum inside. It's like the Empire State Building.
Really?
It's so big, and it's a man and his wife and his and a child, and it's magnificent. Yeah. But anyway,
may I ask you, how did you find out that your home was Ghana?
Because my heart told me that.
Gotcha.
But I've done my blood,
okay.
And it's not Ghana. I was disappointed.
Oh,
it's Cameroon. My mother's family came from Cameroon. That's a blood type. And my father's came from Guinea-Bissau.
Okay.
But I have not been to either one of them yet.
Mm-hmm.
But my heart, and I'm like in Nkrumah. Nkrumah said, I was not born in Africa. Africa was born in me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't born in Ghana, but Ghana was born in me.
Beautiful.
So I found that Ghana was my home delight.
Beautiful.
So I go to Ghana but I have to tell you another important. I was mentored. See, I've also received mentoring from people. There's a prof. He's a Puku. You might. I don't know whether you. Yeah, he's taught in Pennsylvania. He's been at the seminary. But anyway, he's my mentor. He's my mentor in Africa.
Okay.
And one time, I don't know how long ago, I don't know how many years, he looked at me, he said, "Daughter, why are you wearing those folk clothes?"
What clothes was he talking about?
Western clothes.
I don't remember you never wearing this attire.
Huh?
I don't remember you ever wearing anything other than this.
No, because he told me that. He told me, he said, why are you wearing other folk clothes?
Wow.
He said, you belong in your own clothes.
All right now.
And Deborah, I had thousands of dollars, everything I bought. Because see, I was a professional most of my life. I wore suits, I had suits and all, you name it. And I had the best. Do you know, Cynthia Diaz got a lot of them. She was well dressed. I gave away all of those things. I may have a few pieces in the closet now that I missed. But I gave away all of those clothes. I wear, if I go to the store, I go to places, I have casual, sweats and stuff. But whenever I'm doing anything, I'm going to the doctor or going places, you never see me with unless I'm in the clothes. But he told me, he said, you need to get rid of those folks.
Wow.
And I haven't worn, that's what I've worn since then. And then, so in my heart, I feel different when I'm in Africa. I remember when I first went to Africa, I had gone to Israel, and I came down to, and when I came off the Suez Canal, the bus came out to Suez Canal, I had them stop that bus. I got off that bus and kissed that red sand.
Wow.
That red dirt. And so that was but I entered from the north. But I have, but Africa to me is, when I go to Africa, it's like, and when I think about it, it's like my life is changed.
Wow.
It's a whole, I am a whole, and I go there, and when I get to Africa, it's like I am, it's a home. Yeah. I'm home, I'm home, I'm home. And the people treat me that way. I am a queen mother there. And when I went to Nigeria, I've been to Nigeria a few times. They made me a king. I am a king in Nigeria.
So king doesn't have a masculine or feminine connotation in Nigeria?
No.
Okay. Wow.
No, you can be, I am a king. These are honorary kings because you have to be bloodline to be a functioning king.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but I am an honorary, and in Ghana, a king can be a king, and it's bloodline king.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because there are places where at least one in that places where the king is a female.
Wow, that's education for me, and perhaps also for the viewers.
Yes, and I am a queen in Ghana, so when I go there, they treat me like a queen.
Beautiful.
And my birthday was June 10th, and I got a call from one of the kings there. His wife works for the United Nations, and she was in Addis Ababa working. And he had gone over there to visit her. He found out that it was my birthday, and he called me. When I'm in Ghana, I go to, we are together places because Daniel Nyate and because Daniel is from the area where I go. Okay. And so when I go up there and I see him, he treats me like his mother, because queen mothers are they're the ones that have the real power. Okay. Because the kings and the chiefs can't do anything unless they go to, and they are elected by the Queen Mothers
Wow, that's a lot of power.
and her court. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. So so when I go there, I have a family there. They are such welcoming people,
Mm-hmm.
and they embrace you. And so when I go to there, I know I'm connected to my bones and my blood.
Love it. Wow. Dr.
So
Moody-Shepherd, I didn't want to cut you off, but I did want to get into your embrace fully of their culture and some of their religious practices. I think some people might wonder, why would we? But I think it's wonderful when we reach back for our roots. Can you share a little bit about that?
Oh,
with
I
us?
am. I was I was initiated in Nigeria.
Okay.
So it's Yoruba religion.
Mm-hmm.
And the community that I practice with is a group of Santerias here in New York,
United States. Okay.
in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I first was initiated in Nigeria.
Nigeria. Mm-hmm.
And then so I'm a more practicing traditional religion, and then I do Christianity.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, because I am fully embracing because the God that is in the universe is the God that's in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
You worship in a order where you were introduced to.
Gotcha. Right.
So therefore,
Right.
I don't see any contradiction, because for me, it's a full my emotional, spiritual, and physical. It's a complete circle.
I love that. And the reason why I asked you to say it is because you've seen my evolution. And I think that and when I say evolution, I think that those of us who have been leaders, as we both have been,
Yes,
in the Christian tradition, there's something within us eventually, if we want to remain true to ourselves, right? We continue on our journey of discovery, and
exactly.
I fully embrace our Hebraic identity.
Mhm.
So that goes further back, even, right? It goes further back, and it's not a contradiction either. Like you said, for me, it's not a contradiction. It's just a clarification. If that makes sense.
In Christianity, it goes back to Hebraic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What happens in the 21st century is that I think that there needs to be, I personally think, oh my goodness, my crop is falling off. I think there needs to be a separation, and I think a clarification. And so that's why I wanted you to feel comfortable to say that this is your embrace, as I say that out of Christianity, I only claim Christ. That's what I do. I claim Christ. I don't claim the institutionalized Christianity that has distorted and caused us after we've had these careers.
Girl.
Go on.
Now see,
Go on,
you
Queen
know
Mother.
what I think? I think Christ, I tell people all the time, I think Christ was a good model for our behavior. Because I think is a historical, but some of that other stuff, I teach the tradition, and if people listen to my teaching, I can teach the Bible with the best.
Yeah.
I'm a Bible, I know nuances that a lot of people still don't know, because I think I got a spiritual component of me that revealed, and I always said it's the ancestors. The ancestors, if you open, the ancestors would speak, and if you have a perspective, you'll be able to discern things that the naked eye and it can't see or hear.
I agree.
So that's what I think. A lot of times I see the text in ways that and can reveal things in the text that that comes out, and people say, well, why haven't I seen that? You have, you will see it if you allow yourself to be open and to be able to, and I tell people all the time, to cleanse yourself of all of that stuff that you have been I wouldn't say forced on it, but vicariously living through somebody else's life and lenses.
You're right. There has to be a willingness to do that.
That has to be a willingness. You have to be open to it.
Yeah.
Because I know when I was teaching, when we were goddesses, one woman, when I mentioned something, she said, oh, no, that's not what I said, wait a minute, we're not going there. I said, that's not what you've been taught. I know that's not what you're taught. That's why I'm teaching you something different, because you need to be able to have another perspective.
Right.
You can't put up walls and say, I don't hear it, because that's not what I've been taught.
Right.
If you do that, then you miss another way of thinking. Yeah. Absolutely. A possibility. You may not, but it's another way of looking. Right. And it frees you up to be able to think.
It does.
And so, yes, I have certainly, like you say, don't throw the baby because I do baby out with the bath water.
Right.
Because I do a lot of, not a lot, but there's a church on Laconia, a Presbyterian church, the Presbyterian Church of Laconia on Laconia Avenue. They usually they ask me to do the communion Sunday, and so I've done other Sundays too. But lately, I like last Sunday, the first of this month, I did communion Sunday. But it's teaching truth to whatever you're doing.
Right.
You understand? If you see, and that's one of the things that I don't see any contradiction, because truth and justice, you find that in anything you'll find that in you don't have to go to the Bible for that. There's a moral compass. Right. That's available, and for us to understand and develop it, and you'll find that moral compass in any tradition you look at. But it's the practice that makes the difference.
It's the practice. You're right.
It's the practice.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's important. And I have I find it's important for us to, that's why I'm so happy that I grew up in a family that were readers. If we went to Montgomery and you got a little perk, it was a book. It wasn't a plastic toy.
Right, right.
You got a book. And we were people of the book. My mother was a reader. My grandmother was a reader, and I don't know how she learned to read, because there were no schools for them at that time. My great grandmother, who was a midwife, she'd never learned to read. And we're going back, she was not a Christian. And you know what they used to call Mama Laura?
What?
The community called her the witch in the woods, because they said that she was she did roots and stuff, but she practiced a different spiritual practice. And she delivered the babies throughout the area, and she was 12 years old when they came. The Union soldiers came through the neighborhood. She was sitting on the fence, she said. Wow. And told them that they were free.
Wow. That's so serious.
And she delivered. I was the last child she delivered.
Is that so? That was your great grandmother? Wow, that's incredible.
Yes, yes. So, I have a history, and my grandmother was a herbalist.
Mm.
She would go in the woods and get her herbs, and everybody, she had a tea for everything.
I bet they worked though. I bet those teas worked.
And people didn't go to the doctor a lot. They were, because my mom had a tea for you.
Wow.
Yeah, they were. So that's why I'm saying, being a traditionalist and going to Ghana just is very familiar.
Wow. So you're preparing now also to go to Ghana. Am I correct?
Yes, I leave
Soon.
on the 31st of this month.
Wow.
And I'll be there for a month.
And will you be teaching? What will you be doing while you're there?
While I'm there, I'm going to be, I have a generation of children there.
Wow.
So I've already sent their school supplies.
Oh, wow.
And I sent 2 bearers. They've received the bearers already.
Mm.
And so I have 2 children named, one is named Eleanor. My oldest granddaughter, she's Eleanor, and then her grandmother, her maternal grandmother's middle name. I have another family that he's the artist, and he has a Eleanor James, my full name.
Wow.
So Cam is the last name.
Nice.
So I go there and I visit, and we have seminars over there. So I don't go over there to work, honey. I go over there to embrace and be home. The chiefs. I go and visit the chiefs, and they. It's one that I visit. He is too funny. He's a jazz buff. He likes jazz,
Mm-hmm.
and so he plays jazz records, and we talk and laugh.
Nice.
So I go and be and visit, and people come and visit me. And then I go home. Places. I'm at home.
Yes, yes. That's wonderful. I know you and I were talking in the car a week or so ago, and when we got off, I said to my daughter, maybe we should plan to go, because I think I told you she's graduating high school next year. Yes. And you encouraged us to go. There's a lot to think about, but I have never gone to the Motherland. I would love to go, and hopefully I'll be able to go with you next year this time as you prepare.
See, that's what I have a friend of mine I met in Ethiopia. I did a conference. I presented my first paper on when we were goddess. Wow. In Ethiopia in 2015. Mm-hmm. And did it and they didn't that's the second conference I had been over there with, and I didn't see any women there. Wow. And so I said, well, where are the women? And they, of course, and I found a NGO of women. And so I couldn't get the sponsors to sponsor them. I paid for 15 women. Wow. to attend that conference. Wow. And then I was able to get the people that were at the conference, from the United States. Mm-hmm. And we were able to buy them a grinding machine and set them up in a business, so that they had a business, the NGO, and they set up a business because they could grind the grains. Mm-hmm. And then they could rent and let people come and earn money.
That is awesome.
And so they have a business there in Ethiopia. But getting back to why I met Linda, she's from Chicago. She teaches math at a university there, and she's also a astrologist. Okay. So we talk about the stars, and she's a lot of fun, but she has a lot of good information. And so I've been training her. She had traveled so much. But that girl knew nothing about traveling. You know,
Me.
because you what happened is you give your passport to an agent,
Mhm.
and mine is falling apart too. And so the agent take care of all the business, get your visa and all that. But I taught her how to do that.
Wow.
And so what happens with this group that I'm doing teaching, I teach people since I've been taking people over there since 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And I teach them how to get their visas, what to do, you know, how to do it. And so Linda is my successor.
Beautiful.
So
preparing another.
And preparing another.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm no longer able to travel, can't do all the things that you need to do, Linda has been taught how to. The other person I'm teaching to do that is Shania Beckham. You know Shania?
I don't think so.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
Oh, she's from Harlem, and she has a doctorate. She's an AME.
Okay.
And she is being trained as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so she will be, these are people that are preparing because we need to continue.
That's right.
To prepare people to be able to do the work and help our people, because we can see that you see yourself and you see the world so different. When you see all those beautiful, some of the most beautiful women in the world and men are on that continent.
I bet.
And you see how they raise their children. You see they have some of the biggest houses. You think you can see houses here?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the wealth, and you see fruit and vegetables. You know, it's a whole, and you see the universe, and you see people that are still traditionalists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they live the way they have always lived.
It's generational.
Generational. It's so beautiful. But you know, the living and always seeking to grow, always seeking to learn, always seeking to share. And you know, one of the things that I always think about is generosity. Generosity, being able to share.
Yes.
And it's not just financially, which I do, but it's yourself. And information and time and you know, and helping people to feel better about you and teach them. And you learn so much as you share. It's a reciprocity.
Right.
You get what you give.
And I love that. And I think that is a great place for us to end, as you have a couple of weeks to prepare for your respite. You're going to reunite yourself with home.
That's right.
You're not going to let them run you all over the place.
You know I'm not, because I've already told them. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to this is a respite. I come to regenerate and to restore.
I love it.
And it's my happy place.
I love it, Dr. Moody-Shepherd. I am honored to have had you here today. And I look forward to everything else that you're going to do, because I know you're not finished. And we need to hear about it. We need to hear about it. So God bless you and thank you. And I will reach out to you when I believe you're back in late August. You'll be back in late August?
I'll be back the 31st. I'll be back here.
So I'll wait until after the holiday to reach out to make sure you enjoyed yourself and to catch up on what you did. We love you. You are well loved. And we thank you, Queen Mother, Reverend Dr. Eleanor Moody-Shepherd.
And thanks for having me. And may you continue to be blessed by the divine.
Thank you. God bless you.
Take care of me.